Hi everyone, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to make the Compass bracelet to go along with the Compass ring. You can check that out as well as all the supplies that you need to make this in the description of the video. Hit that little show more button and that'll drop down to links back to the website so you can gather up your halos and your supplies. Gather up your materials and let's get started. So to get started with this Compass bracelet, I have 8 O's in 2 different colors. One that matches the halo in the Crystal Lab Full, and then another one in a Picasso finish, as well as an 11O that again matches that metal color that I'm using here. A gemstone that I'm using is African Turquoise, and then I'm popping a little bit of color in here with the Garnet AB 2mm rounds. I have size 8 dragon thread in the green color, and I'm working with an 8O followed by a halo with a 6mm bead in the middle. I've put a stop bead at the end, leaving enough room in order to add my clasp. I'm going to add another 8O seed bead and go back down through the halo that we just added. That 8O is just going to hang out right there at the end. And then I'm going to go into the 11O or the 8O seed bead, excuse me, that was on before the halo through the opposite direction. So that way, if you look, it's kind of a figure 8 of cord. Get that starter thread kind of out of the way there. Coming out there, the 8 O's will kind of sit end to end. And I am going to add in one of my 8 O's in the alternate color, 1, 2, 3 11 O's, followed by a 2mm or a 3mm bicone, along with 1, 2, 3 more 11 O's and one more 8 O in that alternate color. Go to the other side to the 8O seed bead there in the silver color and pull that to the side, going through that area there. Again, repeating 1 8O in my Picasso color, 3 11s, one of my 2mm bicones, 3 11s, and another one of my 8 O's in my alternate colorway. Going back to the start then, I'm going to go through that silver 8O seed bead that's right next to the stop bead, pulling that in together to sit on the side. From here, I want you to go through the halo in the 6mm bead, through the halo and out the opposite side. Give a nice tight pull to tighten up the thread there. And so through the 8O in the silver color on the opposite side. From here, we're going to do a little right angle weave unit. 1, 2, 3 more 8O seed beads. Back through the bead that your thread is currently coming out of. You're currently coming out of the left-hand side of the thread. You're going to add the 3 beads and go into the right-hand side. Then we're going to sew through the bead there at the top. Sew through the bead that is on the right-hand side here. And we're going to do the exact same thing again. So we're going in, we're picking up our halo. You can see I kind of turn it to the side. I add my African Turquoise gemstone right there. I push it in towards the interior. And then when I do that, I'm going through the halo on the opposite side as well. Some of them, if you notice, sometimes with a gemstone, it's a little bit bigger and it won't fit in. So you just want to make sure that one was just the tiniest little bit bigger and didn't fit through there. This one fits no problem. Going through the halo, through the gemstone, out the opposite side. When I'm out the opposite side, I add another one of my metal color beads. So I'm adding my silver 8. Back down through the halo and the gemstone on the interior. From the opposite side here, so my thread's currently coming out the left side of this 8O prior to. I want to go into the right side and out to the left. What that does is makes those 8O seed beads sit correctly. Grabbing them 1 8O in your alternate color, followed by 1, 2, and 3 of your 11s, 1 of your 2mm beads, 3 more 11s, and another one of the alternate color of our 8s. From here, we're going up to the 8O on the opposite side, sewing through it, adding those seed beads to the side, adding our 2mm bead here, 1 and 2 and 3 seed beads, 8O, and down to the opposite side here. Once I'm down to the opposite side and through that 8O seed bead, I'm going to take my needle and thread then through the halo, gemstone, halo, out the opposite side. When my needle and thread come out the opposite side, I'm going to then sew through the 8O seed bead there and just repeat. Once again, doing your right angle unit, 3 more seed beads into the opposite side of the 8-0 that your thread is currently coming out of. Sew through the top 8 and come out through that side 8. From here, pick up your next halo, plop one of your gemstones in. You can kind of spin it usually and get that lined up. Add another 8. Come on back through into the opposite side then of that 8 that your thread was currently coming out. And then get ready to decorate your sides with your alternate color of 8. 3 seed beads, crystal, 3 seed beads, alternate 8, up to the top sewing through, and then same thing on the opposite side. And it is just on repeat then. I like that you can do this in really bright colors. You could add crystals in the middle. So make sure to give a little comment to let us know what you're using on yours. You can use faceted gemstones in the middle, crystals in the middle, pearls in the middle. Really change it up to whatever you have or whatever look you want to go for. I like this natural look going with the gemstones and having that little pop of color on the exterior. Once you finish your compass bracelet, it is time to go in and to add your clasp. Now on one clasp, I used a cup button here, coming out of my last 8-0, adding the alternate color, 3 seed beads, and then seed bead, crystal seed bead, back down through the cup button. And on the opposite side here, I'm just doing a loop with 27 of my seed beads. Coming out my last 8-0 there, I add an 8 in the alternative color, 27 of my seed beads, 8 in the alternative color, up through that same 8-0 seed bead. And that creates that loop. I'm going to go back through and reinforce the loop. I did the same thing on the button side. You always want to reinforce because you do not want your thread to break. Now the thread's super durable, but where you are putting your bracelet on and off or doing anything like that, that's where you're most at risk for that thread to snap, any brand. You just want to make sure there's more than one strand going through. Once you have that reinforced, you can reinforce another time around too. Third time's always a charm. Once you're done reinforcing and going through multiple times, what you're going to do is come back down through the project. So I'm going to go back through my halo and my crystal, or my halo and my gemstone there. Once I get to the other side, I'm going to go through the 8-0 that sits on the opposite side there. I'm going to come down into the right angle weave there, and I'm going to knot my thread off right there along the side, going underneath one of the bridge threads, connecting one to the other, make a loop, sew through the loop once. So I didn't sew through any beads, I just sewed under a thread. Make a loop twice, give a tight pull, so down into the project after that knot, and then take your thread burner and burn your thread edge down to finish up your compass bracelet. Now there's so many different varieties you could do on this design, but I like that it's nice and simple with a little bit more complicated earring. If you make any modifications, let us know what they are in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making so it helps other beaders, or feel free to comment below. Whether or not you're doing this in sparkly gemstone colors or nice muted, it is a beautiful design that I think you'll make a couple of. Thanks so much for joining me in creating this halo bracelet. It's really fun to make modifications on different designs if you're making a ring, an earring, or bracelet, or even a nice choker necklace. Remember, if you haven't yet, hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.